What weird childhood fear do you still kind of hold on to? That my stuffed animals get sad when I don't pay attention to them. I'm 23. That sensation that something is chasing you in the dark. Usually when I'm at home alone. I don't know what it is, I just know that it's coming for me. Ever since the Monsters Incorporated movie came out, I've always had my closet door open a little bit so they can't use their teleportation doors. Going out in the dark outside. Most of the time. It doesn't bother me. However, there are some nights where it just starts gnawing at the back of my mind. Even though I know the chance of anything happening is slim to none and I scurry to and from where I need to go. Whenever the washing machine gets too loud I think it will explode. Looking out the windows at night. I'm petrified that there will be someone there. There was a line in a Goosebumps book about a monster eating your toes while you slept. Bothered me enough as a kid that I still can't sleep with my toes poking out of the blanket. I'm 32. Dolls. My sister had this one that used to talk and it had a creepy light in its chest. I swear it used to start talking by itself. I remember finding it talking one day in my wardrobe. And I had no idea how it got there. In hindsight it was probably my brother being an ass, but at the time I was convinced it was haunted or something. I was terrified and didn't want it anywhere near my room, so I flung it down the stairs. Even now I find dolls creepy as poop. A killer hiding behind the shower curtain. I'm still kinda scared of escalators. My husband makes fun of me for it, but I'm scared something one is going to get caught on them. Basements. They still give me the creeps. When there's no sounds. Not even the ambience of say a highway or a fan blowing. Just utter silence. Even to this day. When I'm in a setting like that. I just start singing loudly and poorly. I've always had a weird fear of windows. Especially when it's dark out and you can't really see through them from the inside of a house. Started when I was really young and we had a huge window right at the front of the house and anyone outside could see the entire living room. Heights. Stairs. Loud noises. Dad. A monster in the toilet. Mirrors in the dark. That if there is a chair in my room and I open my eyes in the dark someone will be sitting there. Drowning. Suffocation. Any death by lack of air. I grew up with asthma and it sucks. Knowing my parents will die one day. Okay. So hear me out. I had a recurring nightmare as a child that I had a nightmare and had to walk to my parents' room. When heading to their room wolves would jump out of our boiler closet and eat me, so waking up from that nightmare I would sit in bed as opposed to going to my parents' room as I was too scared. Still to this day when getting up to the bathroom at night I think something will jump out from behind a door and murder me. Poor quality surfboards. Growing up surfing as a kid I was told by older kids that sharks are attracted to real McCoys. Which are like the generic name brand for blue foam surfboards for beginners that you kinda start out on as a kid. So every time I paddled out I was looking for sharks. Then I finally got a real board for my 9th birthday and thought I was invincible. But whenever I see a kid's foam board, sharks. Opening a can of biscuits. I fear the pop. If no one is around to do it for me I cope by whacking the container hard into the corner of the countertop to force pop it on my own terms. To muffle the sound I contort my neck sideways to press one ear hard against my shoulder and plug the other ear with my finger. I also close my eyes. Not sure why. I've been told I look like I'm having a seizure. I'm terrified of answering the door if I'm not expecting anyone. When I was a small child, maybe 5 or 6, we lived in a really rough neighborhood. One day, My parents dragged my siblings and I away from our toys in the living room and forced us to hunker down in the hall for the better part of an hour as someone banged on our door as if they were trying to tear it down. I didn't get what was going on at the time and thought that maybe the person would go away if we just answered the door. But my parents refused. It wasn't until later that my mom told me it was a drunk man knocking on our door. Not too scary, right? Well, it turns out that we had a bottle of lighter fluid outside right next to our grill and this guy had tried to set our door on fire to either get in, smoke us out, or just burn the apartment down with us inside. Thankfully, the bottle was empty and the guy eventually gave up and left. But even now at 20, I instinctively freeze up and refuse to answer the door unless I'm wearing shoes to make an escape. My keys, my phone, and have a weapon of some sort within reach in the event that things go south. While I know that the chances of something like that happening again are slim, I just can't shake the fear that I'll be too trusting one day and open the door for someone who intends to harm me. I am afraid of the pressure cookers, especially when they whistle out the steam. The story is it was my birthday and we were cooking goat meat and the whistle got blocked and it was kinda like a bomb from there. My friend's mom was injured heavily when one of the pressure cooker exploded, so I had a bit of fear already. The fact that I could have died on my birthday gave me a mental scar forever. Getting lost, being alone and not being able to find my way home. Based purely on a nightmare I had as a kid after moving to a new house. Being homeless. Getting to my room and into bed as fast as freaking possible after turning the lights off. I can't let the nightmare get to me. A bug crawling into my ear while I sleep. I have pest control and still sleep with my scarf covering my ears or the cover. Every now and then, I'll wake up stressed because I forgot to do my homework, study for the big test. The deep parts in pools. I swear there is a giant octopus shark waiting to eat me. Sleep paralysis. To be kidnapped by a paramilitary group in the night. Yep. Usual fears of my childhood in Colombia. None of them in childhood. Health seemed guaranteed at age 66. Different story. I was about 4. And was with my grandmother shopping one night. It was store closing time. And a cashier made the comment, "Any later and we would have to lock you in and keep you." I always get edgy when a store is closing. Despite having worked in retail a number of times over the years. Those damn chickens. I watched way too much Forensic Files as a kid and became convinced that a murderer was pretty much always nearby. In adulthood, I'm still hesitant to sleep with the window open on a warm night. Driving on mountain roads. Digging through this thread, I'm getting crazy scared RN of things I haven't thought about in such a long time. Help. The monsters in the pool. I still can't go under for long before I feel like there is something trying to get me. That aliens, greys, still watch me and visit me while I sleep. Car windows. Okay, let me explain. So when I was 5, I loved to draw on the car windows of my brother's car with my finger because it was winter and the windows got all foggy. Apparently he didn't like that I was leaving fingerprints on the windows. So he told me that the chemicals on the windows would make my fingers fall off. I was mortified and I never touched a car window ever again. I even traumatized my friends by telling them. Even to this day, I cannot touch a car window without awkwardly wiping my hand off on my shirt. Thanks, Gia. You scarred me. Going to toilet and a snake going up my vagina whilst I wee. Ventriloquist dummies. As a kid when home alone, I always heard one of my parents calling my name when I'm well aware they weren't home. It eventually got the point where I would jump when I heard my name loudly sometimes. If you sneak up on me and say my name to try and scare me, I will hold a grudge because that scares the poop out of me. Am I the only one who had this issue of hearing your name from someone you know isn't home? Whenever I use the basement bathroom in my house, I still run up the stairs at full speed after turning off the lights. I don't do demons. Getting stuck in quicksand. That I am going to be abducted by aliens, or that if I go to my car alone at night, I am going to have my Achilles tendon sliced by a carjacker and be left to bleed to death. We had rusty pipes in the bathtub in our old house. The water would run red and brown for about a minute before clearing. I'm still afraid that blood is going to come out of my faucets and shower. My dad is bipolar and unmedicated. Escalators. Fell down one when I was 7 and I still have to psych myself up to get on them today, and I death grip the rail. I can't bring myself to look at my reflection in the dark just in case Bloody Mary is there. If my parents told me they would be home at 10 PM and they weren't home by 10:15 PM, I would assume they had an accident and were dead. I'm 42 and still have this ridiculous fear. It's not necessarily about my parents anymore, but more friend's partner. Staring into the microwave will fry your eyes or liver or something. Still won't do it. Stink bugs. There was an urban legend where a man hid under a girl's bed and licked her hand. She thought it was her dog. He wrote on the mirror, "Humans can lick too. I will not let my hands or legs hang off the bed ever."
Hi there. Look, if you enjoyed the video, well, why not go ahead and hit that like and subscribe to Reddit Stories. In fact, if you want to see even more responses to this thread, well then, take a look. There's the link in the description below. And remember, show some love to those authors while you're there. And I look forward to seeing you next time.